good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This channel is all about telling you a story, telling you stories to answer questions pertaining to life. So feel free to ask me your questions in the comment section and see me answer that question by telling you a story. It's an amazing way to answer your questions. Yes, I do this every weekend, every Friday and Saturday. I started off a story yesterday and it's intended to answer the question, how to know if you love yourself. A very important thing, like how to know if you truly love yourself. It's not enough to say, I love myself, I love myself, I love myself. Do you really love yourself? At that story this weekend, will be revealing that to you. So stay tuned and let's get the story started. But before then, please hit the subscribe button, click the notification bell so you don't miss out on any interesting content I'll be posting here. The first link to the story I told yesterday, which the continuation goes today, is in the description. So do well to click it so you can understand the story fully. Okay, so let's get the story started.
Vlog Demystify 2.
Throughout the night, all Ada did was to cry. She kept crying. She picked up her mom's picture, she looks at it, she cried. She picks up her fiance's picture, she looks at it, she cried. This was all she was doing. She remembered how much she begged her mom to stop smoking, to love herself and quit smoking, forget the pain of the past and just love herself and move ahead with her life. But no, her mom did not agree. And now see where she has found herself in the hospital bed, in between life and death, and as well put her in a tight condition to make a difficult choice. She thought of Chidozie's request to sleep with his boss so they can give him the job, but she did not want to. Each time she thought of possibly accepting the request, so at least to get the money and save her mother's life and as well save her 2 years relationship with Chidozie. But each time she got close into thinking, let me accept it. That word, I love myself, re-echoes in her ears again. She has said it to herself more than 1,000 times. I love myself, I love myself, I love myself. So each time she thinks, let me go by this Chidozie's request, my fiance's request, at least to save my relationship, save my mom's life. That voice re-echoes in her ear and tears ran down her eyes. After thinking about this for a long time, she didn't sleep that night. She picked up her phone and texted Chidozie, but she couldn't do it. She switched up her phone afterwards and kept crying. Finally, she slept. The next day, while she woke up, she quickly dressed up and went to see her mom in the hospital. While she got to the hospital, approaching the bed where her mom laid, she saw so many people gathered around there crying. At first, she did not understand, but then this thought came to her mind. What if my mom is dead? No, she quickly brushed it away, but she was beginning to stagger. A nurse noticed it and quickly ran to her, held her by hands and tried calming her down. At that point, Ada knew that her mom was gone. She just fell there and started crying. The nurse gave her a written note and told her, your mom asked me to give you. She collected it and opened it almost immediately and started reading. Ada, my daughter, Chidozie told me everything, and I'm writing to you that you don't feel guilty about your decision. I know what love means to you, and I tell you the truth, you didn't make the wrong choice. Don't be angry with yourself, and also help me to thank Nurse Hogi, who preached to me because I've given my life to Christ. I'm writing to you that in case when you come to see me I'm no longer here, be rest assured I've gone to be with the Lord. I love you, Ada. Ada kept crying. She kept crying. She felt so guilty despite her mother writing to her not to feel guilty. She walked out of the hospital crying, walking down the road like somebody was going mad, talking to herself and crying. A black jeep drove across her and reversed back The owner of the car came down and went to her. It was a young man, tall, dark, very handsome. But then Ada could not even notice it at all. She was just crying. And while the man tried to calm her down, without asking her any question, Ada started talking. I lost my mom because I love myself. I lost my 2 years relationship because I love myself, just because of love. The guy did not understand, of course. In fact, he was confused. How will love make you lose your mom and make you lose your 2 years relationship? How is that possible? He thought to himself in his mind, but didn't give an expression to this confusion in his face. So he just said to her, the sweet, calm voice, "It's well. Can we please go to a calm place and talk?" Ada did not refuse. She just entered the car and they drove to a restaurant where he got her food and drink. Also had to cajole her to eat because she wasn't going to eat. But after so much pleading from him, she finally ate. And then he asked her, "What do you mean by love causing you to lose your mom and your relationship?" Ada took a deep breath while she answered the question. My definition of love is not what so many people think to be love. And I was left with the decision to either stay with my definition or give up on it. But I chose to stay with it. Ada kept talking. She kept giving series of breaks to her speech. The guy then asked her, "What do you call love?" Ada kept crying and said, Remember God left his throne, he left his majestic throne, he left his comfort, left his beauty, left everything just to come down on earth to save us. Because he loved us. And through that a new covenant was established. So I take love to be the purest form of covenant that is committed to bringing the best out of the object loved. I love myself, so I take love to be a commitment to myself to bring out the best out of me. But then what my fiance was asking me to do was going to destroy my destiny, was going to destroy me, so I chose not to do it. And I was thinking I would get help for somewhere else to help my mother to live for just the time, just when I stepped into the hospital. I discovered my mom was dead. Maybe if she was still talking while the guy got the call. So he picked up his phone, and after talking to the person on the phone for a while, he gave a description to where he was. That's the restaurants where him and Ada were seated. A few minutes later, like almost immediately, a guy walked in. And while the guy got closer, Ada was a bit confused because the guy's face looks familiar. And when the guy got closer, seeing Ada, he exclaimed, Ada too recognized him. This was the guy, this was the boss of Afia, so asked that he sleeps with her before giving him the job. And this guy happens to be the other guy's brother. At this point, the other guy was confused, looking at both of them and how they were reacting to themselves. So he sat down there looking at them, expecting to get an explanation. But just when Ada was about to talk, the guy walked out of the restaurant in a hurry. And the other guy who brought Ada to the restaurant just kept watching them. That. So we continue. But now we've come to an understanding of what self-love is. So let's pause the story at this point. So you now know what self-love is. It's a purest form of covenant committed to bringing the best out of the object being loved. So you are the object here. You love yourself, right? So you should be committed to bringing the best out of your life. Do everything and anything good just to bring the best out of you. Then you can say you love yourself when you've started doing this thing, bringing the best out of you. This is the end of my story for today, for this weekend. See you next week right here in this channel. Do well to like the story, tell me something in the comment section, and subscribe, please subscribe to this channel. See you next week. Bye.